Hello. All right. That'll have to do. None of this complicated stuff. It's literally just do the.
Welcome to Ryan K Show at the Streamers Podcast Studio. We're doing an audio check. Is it working now?
Yes.
All right. So
It's through the camera. We're not doing any throughouts or whatever.
we are broadcasting live on my YouTube channel from Podcast Streamers, and we were going through my search history. We already had a conversation, but we will go through and find some more. But we are, because no one's watching this right now, I don't know if it'll be saved, but the Streamers Podcast is also another YouTube channel that Stephen and I have been working on. So if you are seeing this, go and type in Streamers Podcast and follow us over there, because we will be intending to post multiple times a week, both Stephen and myself, with various guests.
Yes. We like guests.
We got some exciting guests lined up. My friend Nick.
Yes.
Stephen had a friend on the show,
Caroline.
Caroline. You can go check out their episode together. They talked about, what did you guys talk about?
Conspiracy. She's a conspiracy nut. She feels that when hell fell apart, when a third of the angels rebelled against God, it was because they were jealous of us. Now that's written. What she believes, though, is that societies as a whole are run by these jealous angels who hate us, who are envious of us, because, God loves us and keeps giving us chances, and that's no good. They, God gives us all these chances and opportunities to still go to heaven and live forever and all that other stuff. But the angels screw up one time and they're cast out of heaven and outside of the club. So they they basically started running the show for us because they're immortal, they're powerful, and because they hate us, they poison our food, poison our entertainment, have us living worthless lives, kind of thing, just seeking pleasure and all that other stuff to not a good end. And that's her prevailing theory. No, not wrong. I can't poke any holes through it.
Well, my personal beliefs would be that those things would be accounted for by basic human nature.
Yeah, or I mean, it could. Well, it's human nature, but I think it's also. I mean, if she's correct, it's human nature, and how easily human nature can be co-opted. Mm-hmm. You make us a little hungry, and we turn from nice, friendly, happy people to monsters. We see that somebody has a nicer anything, and we turn into these jealous creatures. I mean, our entire marketing departments of everything is all about, oh, you should want that thing that other guy has.
Yeah, it's crazy, and just the commercials we all grew up with to make you want more,
more.
Hey, if you have more, you'll be happy.
Oh yeah.
The more you have, the happier you'll be. And if your neighbor has something nice, you need to have better, so that you can show that you're better than them.
Yes. And then sleep with his wife.
That's how you can get to sleep with his wife. In the commercials, the makeup commercials, you got the fly sneakers, then you can go steal anyone's wife.
Oh, good. Thank you. I was wondering where that my problem is I don't live in a good enough neighborhood where I want to sleep with anybody's wives. Maybe when I move up the economic ladder.
It'd be fun to, on a future episode, pull up old commercials and see what they were trying to, how low they stooped to try to brainwash us into consuming the product.
I think that would be a fantastic episode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because marketing is as American as anything. There's
And it was even more. I think there was less regulations, but it was always more extreme, like in the 50s and 60s and 40s, because they could say anything they wanted without any regulation.
without any regulation.
And yeah, they put Coke in the Coke and the Coca-Cola and could advertise cigarettes on TV
And it's funny. The one of the episodes that I've done was about the history of smoking, and marketing is so tied into cigarettes. Actually, it's funny because the cigarettes, they weren't considered manly until World War II or World War One. Well, people didn't have; they were part of the ration. So all the men returning home, they're like, okay, we got blown up, and all my friends are dead, but I guess I could just smoke. I don't need the pipe or the cigar. So cigarettes didn't really explode until after World War One.
Were they giving it to, like, was the tobacco company making a point out of getting their tobacco to the soldiers, like as a treat, or like
It's a treat,
Yeah.
like it's part
or
of
were the soldiers even asking for it, or were they just like, hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
Tobacco's an integral part of manliness.
yeah?
So you feed them meat.
But you were talking about the beginning, like before it was.
So well, what it was the easiest way to provide them tobacco, cigarette.
Mhm.
So before World War One and industrialization, it was the pipe or a cigar.
Mhm.
Cigarettes were kind of looked down upon.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so
They were-
cigarettes specifically.
Cigarettes specifically,
Okay,
not just tobacco.
Okay.
So the cigarette itself was kind of like a low quality, it's kind of effeminate. It's not manly like a pipe or
Yeah.
a cigar. And then after getting blown up, and okay, I guess the manliest time of my life, I had these. They're manly now. Then in 1915, a marketer put a whole bunch of women into a parade in New York, and it was considered unladylike for cigarettes, for women to smoke.
Okay.
But there was all these powerful, liberated women, and they put a bunch of debutantes in a parade. They smoked. The newspaper picked it up the next day, and these women with their freedom torches,
Yeah.
torches of freedom with
And then
these women.
that made the men want to smoke, or the women want to smoke, or
It made it so that now 50% of the market was open
to the women.
to women.
Yeah.
Now, this guy he's a brilliant marketer, and it's all about creating a need in people's minds.
Yes.
And made it so that women now needed to smoke. Like if you wanted to be an unkept woman that didn't have to answer to some random man, now you could smoke, drink,
Yeah.
and do all sorts of unladylike things.
Did you hear the story about coffee being popularized in Japan? So Japan
That's new.
Japan always liked tea. So 20 or 30 years ago, they're like, coffee cannot be a competitor to tea, and nobody wanted coffee. They weren't interested in coffee. You can't just make everybody like coffee all of a sudden. So they didn't market it directly as coffee. This is just a story I heard on a reel, but I believe it to be true because I heard it multiple times.
Oh, you let the real
Yeah,
time?
yeah. Is that then they took the flavor of coffee, they put it in candy.
Okay.
They made a cartoon to go along with the candy, and they they shared the coffee candy to the kids, created nostalgia within the kids with their favorite cartoon and their favorite candy. And now, after time has passed within 30 years, now coffee is like the biggest thing in Japan because they associate it with their favorite TV show. But it didn't come in
That's
directly.
pretty clever.
That's how these sociopaths they market and they get what they have long-term strategies. That's why I was wondering about like who put the cigarettes in the hands of the soldiers. Like, were they asking for them, or were they like, we're gonna make them, like we're gonna find different people who will take our product.
And
they were selling them to the kids.
Oh yeah. Well, honestly, it feels more like that might have been one of those things where the people in charge, they're like, okay, we got to feed our troops. We got to put together a box to like give them everything that they need.
Right.
Like, what goes into this box? Obviously, you got to have carbohydrates. You got to have protein. Some form of sugar. And then what else fits in here?
Mm-hmm.
And there might have been some evil tobacco executive.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, it feels like it was an organic thing. I'm like, well, we got these cigarettes. We could just throw a couple cigarettes in there.
Yeah.
And they'll be happy. So, and like the chocolate
maybe
bar.
things weren't as corrupt back then.
Oh no, people have not changed.
Yeah.
In fact,
but it was maybe not as on large scale.
One of my favorite books is this one here. It's a cabinet of Roman curiosities, and it's not a book per se of like it's not a novella. It's just a whole bunch of little, paragraphs, and skeptical of medicine, skeptical of doctors, of lawyers, of this and that, rich people doing their thing. And after you read this, you'll realize that we haven't changed in 3,000 years. Mm-hmm. We're still the same. We're the same exact creatures that we have always been.
Right. That is, I mean, you get that same feeling from reading philosophers, reading authors of the past, or even similarities within the Bible.
Oh yeah, the human nature has not evolved, changed. We're still this, and sure, there's some greater understanding. There's the Pavlovian hierarchy of needs. You need food, shelter.
Maslow.
Oh, Maslow. Okay. Yeah, Pavlov is the dog guy. It might have been the same guy. No.
Pavlov's dog is different than Maslow's hierarchy.
Okay, so the hierarchy of needs guy. Food, shelter. Then the other things like love and warmth and those stupid things.
Let's see if I can pull it up.
Oh, watch out! You're going to add more to your search history.
This is what I do. Do you ever just look stuff up all night?
Oh, of course I do.
Go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, there's a reason. So I'm in one of my classes. The teacher, and it's largely a conspiracy theory class.
Really?
American Dream, and any good class should start with George Carlin talking about how it's called the American Dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
That's right. He's very cynical.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately correct them.
No one ever calls George Carlin a liar.
It's
a big club, and we're just not in it.
You are not a part of it. So the Maslow's hierarchy of need to self-actualization. We start with the physiological needs: breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. Those are nice things to have, right?
Yeah, I like all those.
You can survive, and then, you can survive on the street or anywhere in the woods with that rung of the triangle. But the next one up is safety and security. So that's once you get into shelter, maybe get some weaponry to help yourself defend yourself against the bears and everything. Safety and security is your health, your employment, your property, your family, and social ability, because all those things play into our safety and having strong safety and security in our society. Above then, you can have all that stuff, like many might have done in the early years of America and Rome and everything. But did they have the next rung up, which is love and belonging? Because that comes with community, friendship, family, intimacy, and sense of connection. So
we don't need that. You need to get in your car and commute an hour and pay taxes. That's where I get my sense of community from paying taxes, just being a taxable unit.
And the next one up from there, which you might also apply to your getting your taxes paid, is self-esteem.
Oh yeah, I feel great about paying.
Once we have love and belonging and pay our taxes, then we get self-esteem, confidence, achievement, respect of others, the need to be a unique individual.
Okay.
Then from there, you have self-esteem, love and belonging, safety and security, and your physiological needs met. You're on your way to self-actualization right then and there.
Self-actualization.
So as Americans, when we have basic needs met.
Now, is that can you charge extra for people getting to self-actualization? Are you like
That's what all the self-help stuff and the therapy and the
yeah, therapy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the people who are in therapy, they've gotten their help. Well, they've been doing it for 20 years.
And in church, it says morality, self-actualization is morality, creativity, spontaneity, acceptance, experience, purpose, meaning, and inner potential. As those are. I learn something every day. I make it a goal to try to learn something every day. That's why I have my search history here. Now here's another good one. How to detox your body.
Okay, there we go. That's good.
8 steps, including
Dr. Pepper. Please be Dr. Pepper.
including the best food. So I'll kind of scroll through here to the numbers. What is a full body detox? What is a full body detox? The definition of a detox or a cleanse is a variety of detoxification diets, regimens, and therapies, sometimes called detox or cleanses, have been suggested as ways to remove toxins from your body, lose weight, or promote health. Indeed, when trying to figure out how to lose weight fast, detox can be a great first step. Okay. And when you're not detoxed, you might have some of these symptoms. Unexplained fatigue, sluggishness, weakness, and lethargy, brain fog, mood swings, bloating, aches and pains, getting sick. What do those come with? Those come from potentially not being detoxed now. How to detox your body?
That's $25 a month.
We'll tell you too. Switch out sugar.
Sugar, okay.
Yeah, switch
All
out
right.
sugar.
So remove the most addictive substance that mankind has ever come up with. All right. Okay. So
Switch out sugar-sweetened beverages like sodas and sports drinks for water, unsweetened tea, or detox drinks. Stay well hydrated. Also, next added sugars from your diet from foods like candles, cakes, candies, cakes, cookies, and sweets. And aim for sugar-free diet. 2, eliminate processed foods. This is it. You mentioned the diet.
it's all the diet.
Yeah.
Okay, so stop sending us money and start sending money to the grocer, because the only way to really detox is to no frozen pizza, nothing in the frozen food section.
Number three is consume whole foods.
Yes.
So that's fruits, veggies, healthy protein, and whole grains.
Yeah. steak, broccoli, potatoes.
And you've heard the whole conspiracy about the food pyramid, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of pyramids.
well, the food pyramid, that was General Mills and a few other companies. They're like, the sales have gone down 1.5%. What are we going to do? Well, let's try to get the FDA involved and make it so that grains at the tippity top of the whole thing. And yeah, the FDA has been bought and paid for by all these freaking companies, and we're being systematically poisoned so that the fallen angels can run society.
Mm.
You know, we're these stupid plebs just wandering through life, and in order to make a little bit of extra money, because you know what we're supposed to eat? Meat, vegetables, fruit. That's it.
You can stay in ketosis if you stick with those.
Meat, vegetables, fruit.
Yep.
Is rice a vegetable? No, it's a starch.
But
A useless.
the Asian people eat a lot of rice and they stay fit.
Oh, you know why?
Why?
They have nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually, one of the more fun lessons in economics classes is the when super poor people receive X amount of dollars, they buy a small amount of meat and a lot of rice.
Mm-hmm.
But when they get more money, they buy more meat and less rice. And then there's a moment where like they get a lot more money, and then all of a sudden like the rice goes up again and the meat like there's this weird curve to the whole poor people and rice consumption with meat. But yes, what they call it a subsistence diet. They subsist on the largely empty calories of rice.
Yeah, rice is not very good for you.
So they don't stay in peak physical shape like me and Brandon here. Like, you know.
So there's basically two of these are about getting detox supplements. And one of them is about consider intermittent fasting, which helps, not eating at night, taking 12 to 15-hour break from eating. Get enough sleep and exercise more often and de-stress. There you go. Now, what are the best detox foods? Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
You like grapefruit?
I love grapefruit.
Tasty citrus.
Can I put brown sugar on it?
I'm back to sugar
Fuck.
now. I don't know, big sugar, detox sugar.
Fuck that. If I'm gonna have anything that's sweet, I want the real deal sugar.
Grapefruit. Fruit has sugar in it.
Fructose, not sucrose.
That's right. But it can keep your liver healthy and support natural detoxability. It's great.
So, actually, this is one of the reasons why, as a kid, did you eat cereal? Did you ever sit down and eat an entire box of cereal in one sitting?
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
by my teeth.
so the reason that you're able to do that is because there's no actual nutrients in the cereal.
Right.
There's like they've thrown a whole bunch of stuff in there. So
You're hungry.
yeah,
You're literally.
you're still hungry.
Me and my food addiction is because I'm hungry. I need actual protein and nutrients.
You need actual nutrients. So they threw in a whole bunch of like nutrients. They just threw them in there. They don't absorb into your body.
Yeah.
But they're able to put it on the label and say that it's good for you.
Well, wasn't the food pyramid telling us we need cereal?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. The salesmen and lobbyists.
Yeah.
They're in charge of all this. So they were able to figure out, and sucrose.
Milk
Which
is another one they pump that isn't good for us either necessarily.
Yes and no. Most milk consumption was either people who drank milk within like 4 hours of it coming out of the cow, or after the year 1920, 1910.
Well, this is where in modern times that whole Got Milk campaign that was all funded
Another
by,
marketer, another marketing ploy.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think there was something to do with, they needed to get rid of their milk or something.
Well, so
Then they gave it away as government cheese because it was like so easy to like.
So prior to a certain pasteurization,
Yeah.
milk needed to be drunk like 3 hours after, or within a half day. Needed to be drunk. So people in the city did not have access to it. But if you processed it into yogurt, you extend the period of time that you can have it, and then yogurt turns cheese. So milk, yogurt, cheese.
Right.
So most people had access to cheese.
Yeah.
But in the early 1900s, access to milk became prevalent. So there's people who like talk about how milk, civilization is built on milk. No, we need dairy.
We were told
Dairy's
to
always
make
been around.
our bones strong in those commercials. But I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
if that's accurate.
Milk's good for you. Just there's a certain amount that your body can handle.
Yeah. A lot of people, it's not good for everybody.
Yeah. There's some people who they have a touch of milk. You can't go in an elevator with. Me, I love milk. I like ice cream. I could eat all that shit. I'm very grateful. But you could overdo it. Everyone, and it's just a certain enzyme in your body that lives in there.
You can be tested for it.
Yeah.
Some people have, I don't know if it's an allergy or not, but it's like they have a worse reaction to goat milk. They know exactly what kind of milk affects them worse.
Well, and it's lactate is a lactose. It's lactose, which is a form of sugar, which the body cannot break down in most people. So sucrose, which is sugar, processed sugar. There's nothing in your body that tells you, hey, you're full. So you could just eat a whole box of cereal, and your body is like, hey, keep going, man. Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for food.
Well, whether you buy into this or not, you already said it. We want the healthiest diet is fruits, vegetables, and meat. Milk isn't one of those
No cheese at all. No dairy.
I mean, you're the one who said it. You said protein.
Yeah, protein. Well, and I mentioned that sugar has, like sucrose, has no shut-off switch.
Yeah.
Fructose, which is fruit sugar, does. So you eat enough fruit, and your body's going to go, hey, you're good.
Right.
You can stop consuming. Like,
Right.
you are full now. Enjoy. So fructose has plenty, has the turn-off switch. Sucrose does not. Lactose makes you fart.
So the fruit on this list is berries. Besides being delicious and incredibly versatile, berries are a great source of both fiber and antioxidants, two important components of a well-balanced detox diet.
It's a good thing the most expensive thing on the menu, because I love berries.
Blueberries, strawberries contain high water content and can promote hydration as well as proper
Elimination. Pooping.
Did you ever eat a bunch of berries and have to take a poop?
Oh yeah.
All the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, the market I buy most of my fruit at, John's, they have the best fruit section. Well, they had organic strawberries today for $2 a container, and regular strawberries were $1.87. And I forgot, because I so rarely can afford to buy organic.
Yeah.
Man, organic strawberries, you get more in there per pound. They're not these big, watery, almost like small apples type things. So I had to spend more time cutting them up because there was more of them in the pound, and they're denser, and I
Maybe more flavorful.
a little bit, yeah. And I didn't feel like I was being poisoned when I ate them.
Yeah. Well, you literally have poison.
So I didn't experience the nostalgia feel of being poisoned. I'm always, yeah. As an American, I'm used to being poisoned by my food.
I'll go down the rest quick. Brussels sprouts are good for you.
Oh yeah.
Beets, chia seeds, nuts, bone broth, and celery juice. Those are could be detoxing if you stick to that stuff. You know, some of the lamer vegetables. You know, beets and celery and Brussels
Brandon,
sprouts. The least flavorful.
you think of what I'm thinking of? Because I'll admit, I'm looking at myself on the screen there, and I don't really like my belly the way it is.
Yeah.
I just weighed myself. I'm 10 pounds heavier than I have been for like over a couple of years, and I need to drop weight. We should do like a weight loss challenge for our swimmers channel.
I do it for that. Yeah. I'm at my heaviest I've been in years, so I would join on that.
Yeah.
Well.
The weigh-in challenge. I'll bring a scale.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring a scale and we'll do green screen. Weigh-ins and do a 30-day challenge.
Now, what are the stakes?
Um,
What's the point?
the stakes should be steaks.
Whoever loses the least amount of weight pays for the steak.
Yeah,
Within 1 month,
30 days.
30-day challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I got a lot of weight to lose. I can drop it quick.
Fuck, dude, I'm at 230 something right now. It's too much. It's starting to hurt.
Yeah, that's good content right there. I'm about it.
Yeah. And I'm not a hardcore gambler, but I don't like to lose.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't feel good.
And I'm sure my sweetie in the Philippines wouldn't mind me not crushing her when I roll over. Yeah, we're on the Brandon K channel, so I can talk more specifically about one. Well, there's three. There's three of them. One I've got to get rid of. But crisis management. One is cool as a cucumber. I swear her house could have fire,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just gonna be mellow as hell.
That's a nice treat.
It is, yeah. Until like, it's done right. A little bit more.
Mm-hmm. She's like too calm.
Yeah. Well, most of all, I've talked to Western women
Mm-hmm.
who complain,
Yes.
complain,
Yeah.
and that's the love language. Is you just go up to them and go, hi, and then they start bitching about whatever the fuck their boss, their
How is it a love language? Because they're complaining and then they don't want you to help. Right?
yeah,
Isn't that the advice? Do not.
never help.
Just listen.
Just listen.
Yeah.
Just say, oh wow, Becky's a bitch. Throw a couple of those in there. That's it. Yeah. Western women want to complain.
When you were working the bar, and people were complaining, did you ever try to give them advice, or did you just like say, yeah?
Most of the time, it's best to just say, oh wow, that sucks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Becky sucks. Wow, your boss should suck a dick. Kind of things. That's the most advice I can give. We keep getting one viewer and then they disappear. We suck.
No, I mean it's 11 at night. It's 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
And no one knows we're on here. Let's see.
Well, I want to build up the Streamers podcast to the point where we can go on at midnight and get like 50 people watching.
Yeah, and there's also Twitch, which is there's lots of things.
I don't want to confuse it. I want to just focus on that.
Oh, really?
I know there's Twitch, but that's for video games. Which actually,
Yeah, I don't know
one
how.
of these days, there's going to be have to be a 2-3 day period where you have all the time in the world. Because I have a video capture card that'll make it so that you could, if you want to play video games, you can capture the video.
Yes, I'm interested in that, and setting that up here at the Streamer Podcast Studio, and
Because I've gotten almost all the technology. Oh, here's a fun one. The mission critical wires to get it so that I can use the switcher, the HDMI switcher, the 2 wires. So I got one good one. 2 more were on the way, as you did with the first order. They got all the way here to Westminster, then got marked out for delivery, and now they're all the way back in Boca Raton, Florida, going back to the original sender. And I went to the post office today to investigate, and he's like, I don't know why.
Right.
Thank you for your help, sir.
Yeah.
I came in here for enlightenment, and I came out with new information and no help. Oh,
Yeah.
well, could you put some effort in to make it so that it comes back to me? Oh no.
Dang, that sucks.
Well, it sucks. It sucks for me because I
Yes.
lose out on a week of learning how to use this technology. It sucks for the person who sold it to me because he's got to pay for postage or give me a full refund, and then I pay for it again. So he loses like $5, $6, $4 or $5. Yeah, no, everyone loses except for the post office because they got them up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the Twitch is not just for gaming. They have different categories, and there's 2 guys on there right now doing exactly what we are with thousands of people. I guarantee.
Just
Yes.
shooting the shit
Yeah, absolutely.
on Twitch.
Yeah, it's still going strong. So, and there's all kinds of.
Because it is geared more towards this. It's all just Twitch isn't a video database like YouTube is.
Yeah, they have a talk section where people want to be. People are lonely, Stephen. You know how lonely this world is? There's people right now who don't have a friend. They're at home at 12:30 at night. They can't sleep, and they're scrolling around for entertainment. And they're looking for friends. And Twitch, they go on Twitch and they watch people just living.
You know what? I totally understand what you just said. So when I rode my bicycle across the USA, there was points where I was in such barren areas that I knew that there wasn't a single human being within 5 miles anywhere.
Yeah,
And there's a couple. It's actually an awesome feeling. It's really good.
Yeah.
If you have confidence in your survival.
Right.
You know, like there's times where you don't have confidence in your survival, it's not a great feeling. But the one emotion that never struck me was loneliness while I was in those places. I never once felt alone or a need for other people.
That was something you sought out due to that being a part of your nature.
No, I mean, there's just points where when you're traveling,
Right.
you end up,
But you didn't set out to go across the country by
yeah. Well, no one came with me. So.
I invited people.
I invited people, but no one's willing to just get on a bicycle and ride for 4 months, with no real destination. At just like a general vague that way kind of thing. But yeah, while I was in the Mojave Desert, there were times where I knew not a soul within 5 miles. Never once felt lonely. My first year in Southern California, I'm surrounded by people, and there's 500,000 people within like a 5 mile radius of me, or 2 million people, or whatever number.
Yeah.
That was lonely. Not being with So I know what you mean. Like, you got all these people that there's millions of people around you,
Yeah.
but no one to interact with. We don't have here in California.
Yeah.
I can't go to Walmart at midnight.
Mhm.
It's closed.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It used to be open.
Yeah, fucking 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'd
I'm
get
a
out
late,
of work.
I'm a late guy. I like everything open late, but even the like, even certain Jack in the Boxes are closed now.
I know. I'm a 24-hour guy.
Mm-hmm.
I can wake up at 6 a.m. I can wake up at midnight. I could operate at any hour of the day. I don't care. I just need a couple hours of sleep here and there. And I live for the 24-hour lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's why I love the Waffle. One of the reasons I love the Waffle House so much. The 24-hour lifestyle. Buc-ee's is 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Gas
why.
station, certain gas stations.
Yeah, I know, dude. And then like now it's in the LA region because nothing's safe. Everybody's, they lock the doors so I can't mill about in the gas station for 5 minutes, like contemplate deeply what snack cake I want. Because that's what I want to do with freedom sometimes.
So hold on, why can't you do that?
Because they lock the door.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta just tell the guy, hey, I want
Oh,
I want that one particular product with that particular flavor.
I got you.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want him to grab. I want to stand in front of the 4 flavors of weird pastry and like contemplate deeply, like it's a very important choice.
The flavors of what?
You get the bear claw, you got the nut, cheese Danish.
Cheese, Danish, apple pie.
Yeah. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They're about this high up on the rotating shelf.
Great snacks.
But I don't want to buy 2. But I want to think about it for a while.
Another thing that should be filling, but that probably isn't. Like, oh, that'll fill me up, and then there's nothing.
Oh no, there's no nutrients in it.
Yeah.
Sugar, gluten. Yeah, sugar.
I've definitely talked myself into like, oh, that's like a meal. Like, try to eat that. And then,
No,
it's all junk.
no, we live in a junk food society. That's why I love being in the Philippines so much. It's chicken, rice, vegetables, fruit. There's fruit everywhere. Chicken everywhere. Or pork. Beef, not so much. Not much beef.
The rice, what is it like? How much a bag?
It's, I don't know. It just comes with everything. It comes with everything. You go to McDonald's, you spend $2. It's gonna come with rice.
Does it? McDonald's?
Dude, McDonald's has fried chicken.
Fried chicken and rice.
Yeah, every meal comes with rice. You order a burger, it's gonna come with a little bit of rice. And they don't they got wrapped in paper and everything. And seriously, you order a burger, it's gonna come with a little side of rice. You can get rice and fries. For $3, you're getting rice, soda, fries, and a burger. It's weird. It's a weird place.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
Heck, if you can come on, come with me in May.
It's possible.
Yeah, I leave on the 20th. Come back in June. My lady wants to go. Well, she wanted to go for her birthday. She wanted me to come for her birthday, so I'm like, okay, fine. It's a little bit more expensive than I wanted to. But yeah, so, there's. Okay, here's the issue, and it's true everywhere in the world. There's this fantasy.
Yes.
There's this fantasy that every Filipino girl has about like 4 or 5 different resort towns that they're just the oldest, most established towns that like tourism just blew up. There's Boracay,
Okay.
there's Palawan, and there's Siargao, and I think there's one other. And tourism is just like the whole fucking country is beautiful It has a lot of amazing, cool things.
Yeah. Clear water, big mountains, waterfalls, forests.
Yes.
Yeah.
It has. The whole country's like that.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody wants to go to these like 4 different places. And every girl, they have this dream where they go to Palawan, and Palawan's cool.
What do they do? What happens after they get there? They set up houses.
No, they just you're at some hotel and you go on the boat trip day 1 boat trip, then you go on another boat trip the next day,
Yeah.
then you go on another boat trip, and you know what? They consolidated it all.
Mhm.
I'm guessing 25 years ago, there were all these there was 25 competing boat, companies. No, 100 competing boat companies, and they're all like vying for this and that. And they realized, no. Let's mono do this one way. So there's tour A, B, C, D, E.
Mm-hmm.
50 companies, maybe 200 companies.
Yeah, that's with
Offer.
That's with all 4 hotels. There's 5 different trips. Or
Every hotel you go to,
has 5 different trips.
yeah, there's just 5 different trips.
Okay.
And they literally they've got 20 different beaches that they all take you to. And sometimes the weather's not good for the 5 beaches you go, they have picked for you that day, but it's the same 5 packages every single one. And every hotel has not their own service, but their own people they call, kind of like how a bar will have a towing company that they deal with exclusively, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but there's probably 200 companies, all with boats, that just take you to like this place and this place and this place and this place and this place. And it's really cool stuff. I mean, I'm really glad I did it. And like, absolutely beautiful. I'm looking forward to going back and doing it again because I took one girl there. It was her childhood dream to go, and made that happen. And now I'm taking the second one because it's her childhood dream to go.
Her childhood dream is to go to a resort and do boat tours.
Yeah. I don't think she even knows about the boat tours. It's just she's heard.
That's like the most. That's like Disneyland. It's like
It's kind of like
or like a magical castle.
the girls there have been told that this is what they should, but this is the most magical place
And
in
they
the world.
and they don't even do it. They don't even get to do it a lot of times.
Yeah, no, yeah,
A lot of these girls, their dreams go unrealized.
yes. Well, that's
That's where a wealthy
why-
American.
that's why white guys are so popular because we make these dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? It's underwhelming. Like if
What about for the girls? Were they very?
they love
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
For them, oh my God, all my dreams came true. And he bought me some pearls. Pearls are cheap, actually. Pearls are cheap. But
That's their jewelry of choice. Pearls over like silver.
it's the national stone,
Okay.
and
So they prefer the pearls.
I guess so. And you gotta get them matching. I got one matching set.
Be charmed.
Yeah. Actually, I've still got back pearls for home, just in case. Yeah, I bought some for Bob too.
Everyone gets pearls.
Yeah, everyone. Seriously, they were cheap enough that I could just buy a whole bunch and then just distribute them. But yeah, and it's all touristy stuff, and I don't like the touristy stuff. The girls love the touristy shit. Almost all girls love touristy shit. And me, I absolutely hate it. It sickens me going somewhere, and it's just geared to like extract my money and not let me just sit down and do nothing. I want to go somewhere where I can sit down and do nothing and not have anybody dictating the pace of play. So when it's too touristy,
That's your childhood dream.
well, what happens when it's too touristy? It's not even the money. If I had unlimited money, I would still hate it, because what happens is you get all these people coming in, and then the standardization of service occurs, where okay, at 9 a.m. everyone gets here, and then we launch the boat, and then everyone gets back at 5. We got 6 hours to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this, and then fucking 20. You got 20 people per boat, and 4 of them are 20 minutes late, and you end up waiting for them, so they don't complain and try to get their money back, and then it just. And now you're enjoying the pace of play of the general public. It's the same pain.
Didn't you tell me what we wanted to bring on chicken on the?
I loved that. That was a van.
Yeah, one of your adventures, but they probably have all kinds of crazy requests.
Oh, yeah, no, this was the local. And he was told that he could bring chicken on. He was missing.
I see. So you're talking about
that was transportation.
You're talking about waiting on tourists.
Yes. Waiting on fellow tourists and
who are taking their sweet time.
Taking their
not
sweet
thinking about
time.
anyone.
Yeah, not thinking about anybody. And you know what? You don't know where you are and all this other shit.
Yeah.
So now it feels like being the smart kid in a stupid person class, where like teacher explains something and you understand it in the first 5 minutes, and you're like, okay, let's move on. I know there's a couple of dumb kids in the back that keep on asking questions.
Do they have bars there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was late to a bus on one of my trips because I was drunk at the bar. It's
Okay.
like obviously time goes, you lose track of time if they're at the bar.
Very easily.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with the bar in the Philippines is it's not the same as the bars here.
Yeah. But I mean, when the Americans get there, they treat it the same, right?
It's hard to.
Is
Well, for me,
what's different about it?
Well, for one, you can buy a beer and then you can wander off with it. There's no
like
rules.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah, there's no rules.
Yeah.
And there's no quick pop in, and it's a different loitering. That and when you're the one white guy in a foreign country and everyone else is like killing time, playing pool or this or that, it's kind of hard to just jump in like be one of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
hard
to jump in on someone else's culture.
Yeah.
It's weird for me because I don't drink. I want non-alcoholic beer. There isn't a single restaurant or bar that has non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
It does exist, but nowhere, nobody's selling it at a restaurant. Now, here's the thing: is if I'm at a restaurant and they don't have non-alcoholic beer, but I'm next to a 7-Eleven or a mini H-Mart that does, I could go next door, grab it, and open it up, and no one's going to say anything.
Yeah, in the bar.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
it's weird. The local population,
no laws.
there are no rules.
Yeah, there's like no laws regarding alcohol.
Yeah, and expect to get sick at these ones.
What, from the alcohol?
No.
Oh, just from just being there.
Just being there.
Or I meant from the non-alcohol.
No. When I say expect to get sick, I mean diarrhea.
Yes.
One time.
Yes.
So
So they recommend shots before you go in there?
Nah, you just bring Imodium.
So
You're done.
So what are you-
fixed in 24
Or
hours.
do you get sick from the food or the water or?
You don't know. You don't drink the water
So you've been there a few times now. Do you always get sick every single time?
every single time I've been. The 2 times I've been there, I've got sick both times, and it's 24 hours. Not even that bad. Like I've gone on tours, like done intense exercise with the diarrhea. Yes, I would love to take a shit, somewhere, but I can't. And yeah, well, it's easier if you're alone. When the girl wants to do something adventurous, kind of do what she says, even when you're sick.
Yeah, I might have a couple of days by myself to get through the diarrhea before I go try to spend time with people.
It's one day. You realize it's coming. You take your Imodium. You sit and you just kind of mellow out for one day, and then and it's usually from like chicken that wasn't cooked right, or not even that. Chicken's cooked right. So chicken's easy. It's just something. There's always something. It could be a bit of ice that they used. even though there is clean water. There is clean water there. You just don't drink out of the tap. Don't drink the tap.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it's not as bad as Montezuma's. Montezuma's Revenge, that's fucked up. And there's no get rid of that in 24 hours. You ever gotten Mexican?
I don't think so.
Well, no, you would know.
No,
You would know if you got Montezuma
I
Revenge.
don't know.
Oh, it's rough, dude. Like Montezuma's Revenge is a whole new thing.
It's like puking and shitting at the same time.
Oh yeah, and no matter you try to eat a little bit just to keep going, and it comes out of your body in like minutes.
Did they name the roller coaster after the sickness, or is it both named after the second thing?
No, Montezuma was the ruler.
No, I know it's Montezuma, but the name of the roller coaster at Knott's is Montezuma's Revenge.
Well, but that's the curse.
Oh, okay, that's a curse. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they did him dirty.
So there was a story about a curse, and then they named the sickness after that.
Yeah, because Montezuma was the ruler of Mexico. We'll just use the word Mexico. I think it was the Aztecs. And they kidnapped him, said, hey, fill a room full of gold and we'll let you have it. They filled a room full of gold. And then they still killed him and killed everyone they could in his city. And that's definitely bad enough to curse people. So that was the Spanish doing what Spanish people do. They're classified as white in this case. Because if you're going to say anything bad about people in their race and ethnicity, they have to be white. Okay. So yes, the Spanish are awful humans in that respect.
Because they were white at the time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They showed up with like 300 dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They killed like 10,000 people in one day. Yeah.
So they double crossed it after they got the gold. They decided to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Or what was
Well, that was before. I believe Cortez showed up,
Yes.
and actually there's a metaphor I like to use, especially in business or just decision making. So at one point he landed his ships, and it's starting to not look so good. And he has two choices: tuck tail, retreat, get back on the ship, go back to Spain, and lose her.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is where the crazy this is or go in
Yes.
to Mexico
Yes.
and fucking just conquer these people.
Right.
It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be awful.
Yeah.
And it's gonna take a lot of faith. And the only way he can do option B and make it so that he kept his group intact, was to burn the ships. So
Boat philosophy.
yes.
Yeah.
So he literally they took all the valuable like metal and fittings and like steel and like a lot of the important stuff, burned the ships, and then brutally murdered an entire civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Glorious. I mean, it's pretty impressive. And one thing that helped them obviously was the disease that they brought with them. They didn't do it on purpose, but you show up to a foreign land, you got 300 dudes, limited gunpowder, limited, bullets, limited everything.
Yeah.
You got your steel armor, your steel swords, and you show up into a place, and half the people are already dying, 2/3 of the people are already dying because of the disease you brought with you. And as you arrive, the people that are somewhat healthy can flee and take the disease with them, so that by the time you get to the next place, everyone's getting sick. And like as you keep going, more and more people are fucking dying. And all they needed to do was to show up to the first village, and everyone would have got sick on their own.
Okay, yeah. Were they doing it like Columbus, where they were like spreading the disease on purpose? gives.
No, that wasn't Columbus. That was the American government.
The American government.
The American government purposely gave smallpox
Right.
blankets to the Native Americans because the American government, which the whole point of the American Constitution is to limit government's power. That's the whole point, to keep them out of our fucking lives, because that's what makes us the best country in the world. Is that our Constitution doesn't say that government can do whatever the hell they want. It says that we can do whatever the hell we want, and government should go fuck itself and only be responsible for these tiny little things. But over the years, it's turned into, well, what we have now, which is fantastic.
The fantastic.
Fantastic. Oh, good job, government. Well, in the Constitution, it states that the government has the ability to create institutions to run certain things. So the EPA, the Department of Energy, the Environmental Protection Agency, DOE, Department of Energy, Department of Education. So like all these little departments. And then what happens is now the EPA starts dictating laws, dictating policy. And the DOE starts dictating rules and policy. And the education dictating rules and policy. So things that were not expressly put into the Constitution, the workaround is to create an organization that now is in charge of these tiny little things to nitpick us and start taxing us and all this other stuff. So the workaround takes a little bit longer. So now that's why we have fucking 500,000 tiny little organizations that the government has created to rule us,
Right.
with the intention of circumventing the three, the three segments of government and everything. So that's why we're so screwed, is because we've let them just get away with it.
Yeah, well, the disconnection there for me is like, I always say things should be more separated, because like the fact that we only have two parties, and like our bills and our things that we vote on, they don't include one thing, they include like 10 things, and you might be for the top thing, and then it like has a secret, what do they call it when you sneak something in with the bill, like a barrel something. They like
Pork barrel.
They like pour barrel it in.
Well, and the more fun part of that
Yeah.
is half the time the senator who introduced that legislation didn't write a single freaking word. The lobbyist did.
Right. Totally messed up. But like, you would think to simplify and to actually make things run better, you would separate each thing individually and each party individually, and people would be able to vote for their own interests. But it's
Oh no. Well, and one fun thing about that is they introduce a bill. Free flags for veterans.
yeah. It sounds
Feels,
good. It
it
sounds
feels
good.
so
And it
good
sounds-
to
when
vote
when-
for that.
When the commercials on TV and they're saying, "Why won't you give free flags to veterans?"
Yeah. But in there is we're gonna poison all the orphans.
Right.
It's just it's the top is the free flags for veterans.
Yeah.
Poisoning the orphans. Yeah, I'm here somewhere.
And then you have to listen to the campaign commercials where they're like, did you know that they're saying that they're going to give free flags to veterans, but they're really going to poison the. You don't even know what to believe. You're just like, they're both against the two things are against each other, and then the other one's just as bad. The other option is just as bad.
And then there might actually, here's the fucked up thing.
Yeah.
Is that the poisoning the orphans might be a red herring, because there's this secret thing in the middle of those two.
Yeah.
That's like every senator gets $1 million just for being a senator,
Right.
and they never mention that. So we'll get rid of poisoning the orphans, and then we'll pass it. So now you've gotten rid of the bad thing, snuck in the really like
Which usually has to do with money or control.
money and
Yeah.
control.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of weird shit. Like our farming is fucked. We are fucked. Our food systems in this country are so screwed up from these type of laws. Okay, John Deere doesn't let people work on their own tractors anymore because it's intellectual property. Uh, I could buy the tractor, but I don't buy the software.
Mm.
So if one piece of it breaks, I need to contact John Deere for them to like come in with a computer and this and that and that,
Yeah.
because it's a computer thing. So it's also it's integrated with software.
I believe it, and like, it's funny just being an American growing up and like that doesn't. I would never even hear about that, but like that somebody who's made that their occupation, that's like the main problem in life, and like we just don't even hear about everything that's going on, all the corruption that's going on in all the different departments across the nation.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Right to repair. There's people who spent their entire life fighting this battle, and they're it'll never end for them
Mhm.
because they've chosen this one battle, which is their right. I completely agree with the people who are fighting the right to repair battle.
What are we talking about? The right to repair what?
Anything.
Yeah.
One of the right to repair people I follow
Yeah.
started off just fixing phones,
Mm-hmm.
but Apple and a couple other companies don't want you to have the right to repair.
Of like be a repair shop, an individual repair shop because it's their product.
It's their product. It's their computer code. It's their you're interfering with their product.
Right. They
that-
find different ways so that you can profit off of their product.
That and they own it. It's theirs.
Yeah.
So your effort to repair it is undermining their control
Right.
of said product.
Right. And like as an example, like you could get your screen fixed for $30 or fix it yourself for $10, but they want you to spend $100 to fix it every
Yes. Or change your battery,
time. Yes.
or heck, even remove your SIM card and put a new one in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all that. John Deere has taken it to a crazy level, and you have to. These machines are like $2 million, and they're critical to us as a society. So if you have to harvest your tomatoes or soybeans or corn in the next 4 days, because that's the harvest time, your John Deere breaks down, you're not getting an immediate service call. You might have your son might have the whiz kid ability to come up and just like and then change the part and bam.
Yeah.
No, you got to go through John Deere
Right.
to get your tractor back up and running.
I can see why that's a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you got to take it back. You got half the time you got to take the tractor yourself to them because they're not going to send a man out to you. It's this logistical nightmare, and there's a reason that over the last 20 years everyone's realizing, oh shit, I've got to keep my tractor. I've got to keep my old 50-year-old tractor
Right.
up and running because
Right.
I don't want to get stuck with one of these newfangled things.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, the right to repair people win a little bit of a battle, but the war will always continue.
I think we need to start over fresh with this whole government.
Yeah, well, we literally rebelled against King George III over a 2% tax on paper. All piece of paper needed a 2 cent tax stamp,
Right.
and we literally that was enough for us to have a revolutionary war and tell them fuck off. And now we're taxed an average of like 25% of our income, and then inflation is theft. Not inflation overall, but the way that they've inflated things is theft. And then they print more money, and then we're taxed like 4 times on our income. before we even make any purchases.
Right.
Before 19, well, here's the fucked up thing, and this is getting popular on YouTube. This one in 1913, just like they are today, they started demonizing the millionaires, the rich. Everyone, these evil rich people. Oh, we're gonna get them. How about you let us tax them? We're gonna tax the income of the rich, because there was no income tax before 1913.
Right.
There wasn't. It was when I bought that drink, I paid tax. If I bought banana, whatever. If I used the money that I was paid from my labor,
Right.
that's when I was taxed.
Right.
So I could, in theory, pay no taxes if I just, lived off the land, kind of thing. I wouldn't be owed it. I wouldn't owe anything. Well, in 1913, they were able to convince the general public that if they voted a certain way, that they would tax the millionaires. So they used envy against people.
Right.
Well, there weren't enough millionaires, and millionaires figured out clever ways
Maybe
to
they
not
didn't have
pay.
billionaires back then.
Yeah, well, it was millionaires. That
Yeah.
was the word back then.
Yeah.
Well, what happened is that once they had the legitimization, once the access was granted by the populace to go after the millionaires, that meant the access was also granted legally to go after everyone else.
Right.
So within a year of only taxing millionaires, might as well tax everybody.
Yeah.
So that's when we started paying. Like, there was some years where people were paying like 7% of their fucking income.
And then
Tax.
did it start small, like 10% or something, and then it built up?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm okay with a 10% uniform flat tax.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. 10%. All right. You make $22,000, you pay $2,200. All right, it hurts, but you make $100,000, you pay $10,000. You make $10 billion, you pay $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of what we have today, which is like the tip of the top people figured out every single way not pay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and it crept in, and we've just been being taxed. Then they figured out property taxes, which is one of the most outrageous forms of theft of them all. Say you buy a piece of property, you pay it off 50 years ago, and your family owns it for generations, but you forget to pay a couple months of property tax.
Right.
I just take it
Right. It's yearly.
Yeah. How do you own it? How do you own it if you have it taken away from you? Like that? Yeah. Government sucks.
I don't have a lot of positive feelings for the government this time.
I don't think anybody does.
They do something. They provide services with our tax money.
Which they shouldn't. They shouldn't be doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
They need to make sure that the water runs. Not own the water company. I think that should be private. But like make sure that they're not poisoning us. Which, oh man,
Fluoride.
fluoride. Let's not go on another rant. So yeah, how about government just like, oh God, so they can't even handle making sure that we don't get poison in our water.
That's what I'm saying.
They
Like,
can't even handle making sure we don't get poison in our food.
That's what I'm saying. Like, instead of having in like 50 states, we should have like little states within our state that like operate separately than the country or the state, so we can serve our own interests.
Oh, so you're talking about like being Amish or Native American?
Talking about it's all legit. It's a legitimate thing we agreed to as a nation. That
So
things work better in small chunks versus big chunks.
So a constitutional republic inside of a constitutional republic?
Well, we could all.
The government wouldn't allow that. The U.S. government
That's the thing is,
it wouldn't allow that. It would be a form of competition because you know what? If somebody wrote up the same exact constitution that they had in like say the state of Oklahoma decided, you know what, we're gonna remove ourselves from the union, and we're gonna cut our state into 50 slices, and just have a constitutional republic, exactly the wording of the original Constitution, including the Bill of Rights. Oh God, they treat it like Cuba.
No, I'm not saying that they. I'm not saying. I'm saying what it would be better. I'm not saying they would allow it.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't allow it because they're abusing the system.
Oh yeah.
So if that's the reason why it should be.
Well, and I forget where. So a senator and congressperson's most productive years of their life is the one session where they decide, I'm not going to run for re-election. So just imagine you get out of whatever industry you're in and you start running to become a congressperson. You spend 2 to 3 years every waking moment trying to win your office.
Sure.
You get in. Your term is 2 to 6 years. So you get to spend 3 months settling in, and then the moment that 3 months is over, you have to spend the rest of the time trying to secure your re-election. So it turns these people into the type of politician we have, which is all they care about is the polls and how to keep power. This is the most broken system. We should never allow people to be in office for so long.
Right.
Pelosi's been in her entire life. Bernie Sanders has never once done anything for another human being. But I don't think he's even capable of picking up a cup of water and bringing it to another human being, because that would feel like work. But he's got a couple homes. And he talks about how evil millionaires are, even though he is one. And he's one of the more likable ones, the ones that we don't even know the names of, or even worse.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a reset. In fact, if one of my favorite scenes in all of movies is in Mars Attacks, when the aliens destroy Congress. Yeah, it's a beautiful moment. And then Jack Nicholson was like, don't worry, everybody. We still have 2 out of 3 of the branches of government. Congressional.
They just didn't like Congress. The writers just didn't like Congress.
Nobody does. These people are crooks. And we've known it ever since the first Congress. It's always, who wants to be one of these people? For every 100 of them that's in there might be 2 at any given time. They're just like good, prudent, moral people that feel that I have been served so well from being an American that I want to also serve.
Well, you mentioned the system's broken, so they can come in with high expectations. They can come in with good intentions and be corrupted into whatever that system turns them into.
Yeah, boy howdy, that corruption is awesome.
Yeah, because imagine yourself, Steve.
Oh yeah, no, I would become corrupt in a minute. 5 minutes, I'd win. I know, I'd get through the first night. Then the next morning, they will have researched all the things I like. I like chocolate and brunettes, and tattoos. So they're gonna have a big titty brunette show up in a limousine with chocolate and say, Senator Lynch, would you like a ride? And then I would get in that limousine, and oh man, I'd have a great time. And I would do whatever they told me to do. Yes, I know I'm being videotaped with that brunette. You gotta give them the blackmail stuff.
I hear this version of the story and how it probably does go for some people. Is that they're easy to corrupt in that way, but I believe there's also a more subtle and insidious corruption where you can try to be staying righteous, and they just find different ways. The people around you find different ways to corrupt you. Oh, will he allow this? Will he allow that?
Well,
Will he go along with this? And like, whether it's just groupthink or
well, you know what they
Yeah.
tried to do with Ralph Nader, right?
what they try to do around
Oh, so they tried to do that with Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader,
Ralph
he
Nader,
had principles. I'm not sure.
A
I don't
principle
know. I
man?
don't know a lot about him.
one of the greatest reads of all time, is Ralph Nader's "Unsafe at Any Speed."
Okay.
It was about the Dodge Dart or Dodge. It was about a car.
Dart sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was going up against the car manufacturers
Yeah.
in the United States, and "Unsafe at Any Speed" came out, and the car manufacturers, big powerful lobby at the time, so they're like, we need to get some dirt on this guy. So they actually had some prostitutes like approach him when he was like at the supermarket or
Mhm.
wherever, and like try to entice him into playing.
Sure.
Basically, you bang the prostitute, we got
Yeah.
dirt, and then
Yeah.
we call we say we'll call your wife, or you can sister.
It'd be even easier than that. I think nowadays you get a picture next to a prostitute, and you're probably a big outlaw.
Yeah. So they tried that, and it didn't work. He
No.
caught them, and like big, like the people who tried it against him. But for every Ralph Nader, there's 1,000 that it works on.
Right. Well,
Because you
well, we hear the stories of the mayors and congressmen and all their scandals. So I mean, yes, they corrupt you. I mean, there is a personality type where they're searching for power. They're like, I want to rise to the top, and abuse my power once I get in there. Those guys do exist.
see, I would just see the way I would play it is, I would take all the gifts, take all the candy and the
They're bribes.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and it's,
oh man, the hedonist lifestyle. But I would also prove to be incompetent.
Mhm.
Like I wouldn't be that useful.
Mhm.
I would just be such a fuck up
No.
that they would kind of give up on me.
I don't understand. So
You
so no, like so you're trying to be a congressperson.
You get into Congress.
Yeah.
They start throwing whores at you
Yes.
and whatever you like.
But at the same time, there's a job to be done. So the job is they're putting bills in front of you. You're
Yeah,
voting
yeah.
on things. Now, are you voting for what they're telling you to vote for, or are you just incompetent? Like, what are you doing incompetent?
Well, there's always a way to fuck things up.
Yeah,
So it would be
you would be incompetent for the benefit of the people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like you kind of like you actually read the bill
Mm-hmm.
and then you kind of like pass it up to secretly to like somebody who can blow the whistle on.
Sure. Well, there you go.
And,
Yeah, I like it.
But you like you just kind of like stupidly. So what do you guys want? And then
Yeah.
they go, oh, yeah. And then you make it so that it's like not the right move. Like,
Mhm.
well, I can't sign it, guys. Like, that newspaper guy found out about it.
Mhm.
You bring more whores over.
Mhm. Right. So you're kind of playing both sides. You're playing the
Oh, yeah.
getting what you want
Oh man,
on both ends.
I would play both sides so hard. Yeah, there would be no hope for anything. to get
Sounds
done.
like that House of Cards.
Maybe. I don't know. I never watched the show.
No.
Basically, yes. Oh yeah. Well, any show should be like that. So we got to two of the things you've looked up, but I keep on rambling. That's what I do.
That's what I add to this. Let's see. We got on some tangents.
Trying to find something you can look up that cannot relate to government.
Well, that's a challenge right there.
Yeah, government corruption. What subjects cannot be linked to government corruption?
Trying to sometimes. Anthony Mackie faces backlash over controversial remarks about America. Oh, this one. Yes. Five, Matthew 5:8. Matthew 5:4-8. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. All right, here's a good one. Do you know about realism, also known as Raelism, is a UFO religion founded in the 1970s in France?
France.
So I believe that realism teaches that an extraterrestrial species known as the Elohim created humanity using their advanced technology. An aesthetic religion, it holds that the Elohim have historically been mistaken for gods. It claims that throughout history, the Elohim have created 40 Elohim human hybrids who have served as prophets, preparing humanity for news about their origins. Among them are the Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad, who was raised himself the 40th and final prophet. Realists believe that since the atomic bombing of Hiroshima in 1945, humanity has entered an age of apocalypse in which it threatens itself with nuclear annihilation. Realism holds that humanity must find a way to harness new scientific and technological development for peaceful purposes, and that when this has been achieved, the Elohim will return to Earth to share their technology with humanity and establish a utopia. In the end, aliens have sought to build an embassy for the Elohim that incorporates the landing pad for their spaceship. Do you believe in aliens?
Maybe.
Did you ever encounter an alien on your journeys?
I've seen some weird things,
Yeah.
but none of it's so remarkable that I can just go, "Oh yeah, it's totally alien." Had me.
So I know you brought up forces, non-human forces, potentially at the top of our government. Did you ever consider aliens could be at the top of our government?
Maybe.
Such as the reptilians or
Oh yeah, the reptilians and the Norwegian Greys. And the, no, the Norwegian Whites and the Greys. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of alien species that people discovered. We'll say.
discovered. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, invented, discovered.
are you kind of a believe it when I see it kind of guy, or just have your own?
It could be anything, man. And you know what's? I also have as much faith as I have in that level of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I also have maybe equal faith that it is just people being fucked up.
Right.
Yeah. To think that it's only just awful, evil human beings doing these things to us. I mean, we're capable of doing all this awful stuff to ourselves too.
Yeah, one of the conspiracies is kind of ties in with like the Matrix. Like basically, they harvest our energy for energy. Right? They harvest us as batteries for energy. That's the Matrix.
Yeah. Or there's the thought that we live in a simulation.
Yeah. And maybe they created the simulation to harvest us as batteries. That's what the Matrix is.
Yeah. In class, I have to watch that soon.
Matrix?
Yeah.
What is this? What class is that for?
The conspiracy theory class.
Oh, it is
The American Dream.
Okay. Well, then it's called the American Dream and it's a conspiracy theory class?
It basically is turning into that.
Now we're gonna watch the Matrix.
Yeah, and it's like
some crazy.
at first I thought it was like
Up there.
communist 101, communism 101, and yeah, capitalism has its flaws, but most of those flaws are baked into human nature, and I think that's the problem. Like I think that's my biggest problem with the teacher is like he keeps bad mouthing capitalism, but he's not really explaining that this is just how people are. Capitalism is still the best system because we've seen, like, you give government all the power. Guess what? People starve, and we don't even have the right to feed ourselves. And I fantasize about getting out of California and buying a small piece of land and just farming in the backyard. Sure, I'll still have to go to the grocery store to buy food. But I'll be able to eat a couple pieces of corn and cucumbers and other shit, you know? And I'll have to shoot rabbits just so that they stay away from my food. I get to eat the rabbit.
Yeah. Well, here's one of my favorites. One of my favorite things to talk about. It's
Well, before you get into that,
yes.
do you believe in aliens?
I'll tell one story, which is that I was living in Vegas, and Vegas is near Area 51.
And that's why when you said a France-based religion on aliens, I'm like, France. It's based in Vegas, I'd be like, okay, all right. Okay, sorry.
So, Area 51 was not far from where I was living, and I was watching a podcast from Joe Rogan talking with an alien expert about his experiences at Area 51. And in my mind, I started to think like, they're real. So that's how we can convince ourselves into anything, which I believe is a more accurate depiction of reality. Is that we can make things real with our perception and how much we focus on them. As another example, some people have a small intuition that a ghost or a spirit might exist. And then you push them into a haunted house, and that gets amplified to the point where they're really seeing and hearing a spirit. So I just believe that the human mind is able to at least create things for itself, even if those are real or not real. But that's the crazy answer. But then the deGrasse Tyson answer is, like, the odds are that there is life outside of our planet.
Yeah, mathematically,
right? Mathematically,
it's also they're really far away. They'd have to master time and space to get here.
But I mean, I go into our own mind. So I mean, you look outward from your mind, and then it's like if you saw an alien, then an alien's real for you.
Yeah.
If you never saw an alien, it's not real.
So you reminded me of how the orcs in Warhammer 40K paint things red because they believe it makes it faster, and because they control their own reality by belief.
Right.
Painting it red works.
Yes, it does work.
It works because it's like self-fulfilling prophecy in the sense of, well, we believe
the placebo effect.
Yeah, we believe that painting it red makes it go faster. Therefore, because we believe so hard in it, making it red makes it go faster. So, but they're also like a chaos magic entity. So what was the next?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we could go a lot of places with aliens. Maybe we will in the future, but
Yeah.
this is just because we're here at the 2-hour mark, and
Yeah,
no one will probably see this. I just want to share this with you. How Carl Jung inspired the creation of Alcoholics Anonymous. Are you familiar with Carl Jung?
Yeah. Was he Asian? No.
I think he's German.
Okay. Yeah.
There may be as many doors into Alcoholics Anonymous in the 21st century as there are people who walk through them. From every world religion to no religion, the International Mutual Aid Fellowship has had a significant long-term effect on the culture of the United States right through its history. Indeed, its influence is global. From its inception in 1935, AA has represented an enormously popular therapy and a testament to the interdisciplinary nature of health.
I had some temptation the other day.
Yeah, what was that?
On Sunday, one of my favorite restaurants and bars shut down, and it was the last night for Raw. And it was like basically, after you got your tab to like $20, it was free, kind of thing. The last night for bar opening, and yeah, I saw a whole bunch of like old cordials that I like to take shots of. I just had to stick to my non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
I got through it, and whatever. Didn't drink, because I know if I had one, I would have been thinking about it a lot.
Yeah, the potential for the next one was up.
Uh-huh.
If you commit to not drinking, and then
I hit 3 years in 6 days.
oh, you're in March, you're in April.
Yeah, April 1st, May Day. April Fool's Day, yeah.
So as you know, as I'll tell the audience here.
Yes.
So the AA is a 12-step program, and it was created by Bill Wilson, who got at least, the tenets of AA, the first 6 were from the Christian Oxford group. So we credit the Oxford group their large emphasis upon the principles of self-survey, confession, restitution, and the giving of oneself in service to others. So the Oxford group was out there working steps, helping people stay sober, stay in Christ. And Bill Wilson came along. And he had his experiences, some of them being with hallucinogens, that led him to put together the 6 steps help people stay sober. But he also had this idea that he came up with himself, which was that an alcoholic should choose their own higher power versus just following a specific church, opening it up to all different religions or all different spiritual beliefs. But the thing that Carl Jung added to the picture was the idea that a spiritual experience can help us recover from alcoholism. So that was the part of the big book about
does getting abducted by aliens count as a spiritual experience?
yeah. Aliens, they're higher power.
I've been abducted by aliens, and now I don't drink.
But no, this article doesn't really get into it too much. But
I was pretty sure he wasn't Asian, but
sounds like Asian name.
kind of,
Yeah.
Young.
So basically, this guy Roland Hazard, who was from the Oxford group, he's the one who brought Bill into the Oxford group. He was going around trying to cure his alcoholism, and he ran into Carl Jung on his journeys. And Jung told Roland Hazard, that conversion experiences were incredibly rare and recommended that he place himself in a religious atmosphere and hope for the best. As Wilson remembers, but he did not specify any particular religion. Hazard discovered the Oxford group, he might, as far as Jung was concerned, have met God as he understood it anywhere. His craving for alcohol was the equivalent of the psychiatrist. Just like Jung, if you try to read Jung, it's like hard to understand what they're saying in this article. But basically, he was saying that a spiritual experience can help recover from alcoholism and from other issues, but
And make you boring.
yeah,
Oh my God. When during meetings people start talking about Jesus. And you know what? I'm a believer. I believe in the whole Jesus thing. All that. I know my language makes it sound very dismissive, but it's like I keep it to myself. So many people want to go on and on and on. But if you want to make a whole bunch of people in the room turn their heads off, like turn their ears off, start going on about Jesus and this and that and your religion. No. You pick your own higher power. My higher power tells me to do blah. That's it.
I think,
No need to get specific.
yeah, an example of a higher power that makes sense to me is it's all inclusive. So
Yeah.
it's not about making you different from me, and it's about bringing us together. So once you get into like, oh, my religion's better than your religion, then
Yeah.
you get into that's your territory.
Yeah. I mean,
The opposite of love and forgiveness.
yeah, and I'm sure that somebody has their religion is, or their higher power is the coffee pot at AA. You know, just the coffee pot. Literally, it's an inanimate object,
Yeah.
and the coffee pot does things for other people. It does good, and it does more than. Yeah, I've heard the sun and the moon. Just anything, honestly. It's something that you can't completely understand, that you do understand enough.
Right. I mean, just that's the thing about atheism and getting into a hopeless alcoholism territory, which alcoholics by nature, like some of the alcoholics through history, they're just like miserable. So they're just like, I'm miserable, I'm hopeless, and I'm going to drink, and that's my life, and I'm going to be cynical. And anyway, so the point is AMP 97.1 FM, Making a Morning Mess by airing LA version of Arizona Show. The Phoenix-based morning show will debut on August 3rd. Station, what is the Morning Mess is a Arizona.
You already lost them. You already lost them.
Sorry, that was tough. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is the Let's see. They let go of Kevin and Bean morning show. They add these.
So, from looking at our layout here,
Yes.
we're experimenting with
Yes.
constant experiment. Our table is a little bit too big. I think we can go with getting that 1%. But,
Have you heard of Printify?
No, I may have, but no.
I think it's like something that could help you like put your logo on merchandise and shirts.
I've got a heat press, man. Once
Yeah.
we come up with a logo, I can do
Yeah. What's everything?
shirts, hats, mugs,
Hats, cups.
bottle openers,
Really?
like this.
Okay, so what is it?
It's basically you print it out on your sheet, on your sheet of plastic from your printer. Then you cut out the shape, and then think of a tortilla press. You know when you go to Chipotle and they
Yeah. Yeah.
squeeze the turkey. And then you literally just take the pattern, you put it on where you want it on the shirt,
Yeah.
and then you squish down,
Yeah.
wait 10, 15 seconds, and then
And it's hot. It makes it hot.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it melts. kind of melts it onto it. You've
did
never
you-
been to a t-shirt shop where they,
What have you made with this machine?
one shirt. And it's stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck to
The
the shirt.
thing, I
It
mean,
needs
the
to be
thing,
100%
the thing
cotton.
my dad's dream was always to have a silk screen there.
Oh,
which is a different.
so much work.
Yeah, a different.
You need an
type of-
entire garage just
Yeah.
to do that.
a different kind of different kind of t-shirt creation.
Cool.
But I don't think I've seen the heat press necessarily.
So, if you were to go to Hollywood or any boardwalk type places, they have all the shirts. You know, all the different designs of shirts.
It's as easy as just printing it out on plastic and heating
Yeah.
it onto a shirt.
So literally, they go, okay, what size do you want? You say extra large, and then they just grab the sheet. They usually have it already pre-printed,
yeah.
and then they just like put it on, they line it up, and then they just put down. You know, after they turn it on, and then so within a minute, you have your shirt.
Yeah. Well, we just need a logo.
Yeah, we need a proper logo. And for our scale, it's not that terrible. You know, if we were doing it mass production, it'd be a little bit more work because you got it. Well, we need blank shirts, 100% cotton, so it'll stick better.
Yeah.
Now, it's not as good about like this.
Yeah.
Like I can't scratch that off. That's powder.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
And it's kind of is able to be.
it will get peeled off on a surface like this.
Okay.
Now, I'm thinking of just a small round table, right, in the middle,
Right. Yeah.
because the table's too big for this angle.
Yeah.
And what I'm thinking is,
It does look from this angle. It looks like we're at a desk.
it does.
We're at like a.
Well, yeah,
Because that means that like you could have like half the side and it can still look like this.
yeah. And I'm not even opposed to just keeping this. This is good. What I don't like is having to bump it into the curtains.
You can even tell.
I'm okay with it, but I'm, you know,
You'd like to be a little closer.
not really. You know, I honestly just a little. I think this is okay.
Yeah.
And I got the longer cables, so that, like, I bought 15-foot cords, so that I can move things around without them catching things. But next step is cord capturing. You know, just getting everything laid down. One issue was the fact that I've got to move that light. That's easy. You know, that one light, so we're not going to open the door and close it. Yeah, that's whatever. I'd say the lighting looks good for what we have. We're a little too well lit, but not really.
No, I like it.
Well, and you know what? Here's the trick with the lighting. Because it needs to be uneven. See, this one over here,
Yeah.
the one from you, is at the lowest setting.
Yeah.
The one to my left, this one here, is one notch above the lowest setting.
Yeah.
Any brighter, and we start shining.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but I watched our video from the other day, and you were shiny because you were too close, so I backed them up.
Mhm.
But I'd say we look good. I like the. Honestly, since no one's watching, let's play with this.
Sure. I'll bring up another topic
Yeah.
when we play. So, in your travels across the nation, did you ever hear of Marceline, Missouri?
Marshalling, Missouri?
Marceline.
No.
Marceline, Missouri is the birthplace of Walt Disney. So and it looks just like Main Street. Have you ever visited?
No.
So yeah.
Main Street. I've never been to Disneyland, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you for real?
No, my mama didn't love me.
Do you have any interest in Disney?
For free, maybe, just to like observe what Spock would.
Yeah.
I literally would go there with like a tricorder and go, interesting readings, Captain. That's it. How do you feel about the strobe, the light changing behind us? Some of them will work better with the green. The blue looks good. and I can sync them up.
Yeah, no, if I got used to it, I would probably add something to the visual.
Yeah. Now, there, of course, there's that one's stroke, smooth. Fade. Strong. Flash.
Exciting.
Too much. Yeah, that one needs to be smooth. Some sort. Honestly, just the blue. You know, there's a couple different forms of blue. There's the cyan. Yeah, yeah. I'm satisfied with how it came out. Obviously, with fucking well, and this is one of those weird things. You understand the concept of diminishing returns.
Yes.
This is definitely a diminishing return type thing. Where if I completely like invested a shit ton of money into these, I would get a little bit better results.
Right. Yeah, no, it's good philosophy. Just keep it simple,
Yeah.
easy, simple. Nothing too crazy.
And I don't like how it's not completely parallel, but that's I could spend an afternoon trying to get there. It'll work. Um, but for the most part, I like what's going on. Now, then I also have this light.
What's your next idea for a show?
I had it and I should have written it down.
That's important.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, dude. I need to ask. I need to just tap my brain into the AI.
Brain link.
The bar doesn't really fit to the camera at all. So it's like useless.
Yeah, so next time we can be on live on YouTube, and then we could do some better phones that could do TikTok
Well,
and Instagram.
I'm thinking just non-stop conspiracy theories. Just telling people how evil and awful the government is and how they hate you. With no proof. No proof, validations, or anything. People will just eat it up. And most of it is true. You don't need proof to know. It's very intuitive. Like, hey everybody, the government's lying to you for the money. And this is the trail of breadcrumbs that has been laid out. And if you look up any of this shit, including Project Mockingbird, I bite my tongue today. Teachers talk about how they legitimize the war in Iraq and all this other stuff, and I'm like, is it safe for you to mention Project Mockingbird? Or do you want to like, because there's a point of no return when it comes to knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And some people, the teacher, he keeps on going like, I don't understand how anybody can be not political. And I'm like, let be, man. I've got a couple friends that are completely not political, and they're happy. I know they're content.
Yeah.
Why let it bother you?
Yeah.
If you try your best to change it, nothing will happen, and you'll still die. You know?
Right. How much energy do you want to focus on something you have little control? It's kind of like some people who are very interested in it. They could take it to the they could spend their whole life trying to make a change. But if you don't really care that much, you just live your life.
How do you think about the white back there?
I like the other colors.
Yeah, I like blue. Dark blue. To add some depth.
So this class you're in.
Yeah.
One,
You ever heard of Project Mockingbird?
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what I was explaining to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have videos of it.
Well, and I'm just like,
I said, I think
probably. And I'm like, yeah. I know about that one a lot. And it's like, I'm in a classroom with all these people. And when the teacher's like, does anybody know about Monsanto? My first reaction is to look at the room and like, nobody in this fucking room knows how evil this one company is. And this is one of like millions of evil fucking companies.
Right.
And it's like, this is the famous one. Please, nobody?
Right.
What is wrong with you people?
Right.
But I don't want to be the one that pushes them into the rabbit hole.
Right.
Because you gotta want to go. You could tell someone everything that's in the rabbit hole, but they have to want to jump in. Alice followed into the rabbit hole. That's why they call it that.
Right.
In fact, actually, a phenomenal episode of any podcast would be all the different idioms we take from Alice in Wonderland.
What do you got?
Well, down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
Mad as a Hatter. Well, that's a dated one. That one's the other one.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. I mean, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah. What's weird how that whole thing, that one book has captivated so many people. It's got the art and the imagery, all the idioms from Alice.
Oh, one of the things in my search history was the Walrus and the Carpenter. But
Walrus and the Carpenter. I did that one. I haven't watched it. Okay. So Curiouser and Curiouser, obviously. What's the use of a book without pictures or conversations? Mad as a Hatter. Mad as a March Hare. We're all mad here.
We're all mad here.
Grin like a Cheshire cat.
Right.
Like a Cheshire cat. Yeah. Mad Tea Party. No one ever. It's always tea time. Breathing in the rain, this thing. Off with his or her head. That one's very popular. I knew who I was this morning, but I've changed a few times since then. Through the Looking Glass.
Through the Looking Glass.
Yes. If you don't know where you're going, and you're going to take you there. Begin at the beginning and go on till you get to the end and stop. Sentence first, verdict afterwards. Okay. About not just idioms.
I'm late for a very important date.
Ah, yes. Not just idioms. Have about.
I like. There's quotes in this.
Yeah. There's a lot. Most of that was quotes, but there's more. There's more. There is a shit ton of influences that if on a daily basis you see.
It's interesting.
6 impossible things for breakfast. Whatever. I'm sure if I do the proper research on it. But yes, down the rabbit hole, I think, is the most popular one with the internet. I go down the rabbit hole on a fairly regular basis to the point where, when it comes to the t-shirt talking about conspiracy theories, I'm already ahead of it, and I've probably been further down. Um, even jokingly said, "Well, you know everything," and yeah, probably. I do know enough that when the class when he goes, and what do you all think about that? No one says anything. And he goes, Steven. And I'm like, well, that company is evil because they've done this, this, and this, and this. And we're like, oh yeah, well we installed that dictator. that was my so to keep it going. The guy that has to jump in. Saddam Hussein was installed by the United States government. Right. And we trained. And one of the things
We're still in the air.
actually one of the more scary things is that we created radical Muslim Islam.
Sure. I mean, I'm not going to fight you on it. I mean, I don't know exactly, but I mean, we our weapons get spread around the world.
No, it's not just the weapons. No, it's worse than weapons.
Yeah.
The ideas, because you can give anybody weapons. It's ideas that are hard to kill. So the University of Nebraska printed up this pamphlet to radicalize the Muslim world against Western society, including the Russians, because they were invading Afghanistan. So we issued this literature so that it was used against the Russians. Well, that idea, the ideology, spread like fucking wildfire.
Right.
And when they finally got rid of the Russians, we were just hoping to come on in and be treated like we were fucking heroes. No, we poisoned them against us too.
No, well, I was going to say no good deed goes unpunished, but no bad deed doesn't spread to more bad deeds.
Yeah.
Bad creates more bad.
Well, thankfully, it hasn't affected any.
It's called karma.
Thankfully, no senators or senators' children have been negatively affected. They're still rich. And
I believe in karma. I believe there is really
I don't know. Hunter Biden looks pretty happy.
left over jail.
No. He could be a felon and carry a gun, get busted for that, and still not go to jail. Because he's a connected rich person. He was the son of the president. He could have an art gallery of awful art and sell it for $1 million a piece and be okay, because you gotta bribe the big man somehow.
There's a lot of crazy corruption out there.
Oh yeah, I just want to be part of it.
Well, on that note,
On that
we'll close up the live. Maybe cut some of this out and go like podcast. Streamers podcast.
all right, so I would recommend.